Hello guys, my name is Lucifer and welcome to my YouTube channel. I want to talk about few Linux YouTubers who make bold claims about Linux like Linux is very secure and they hate JavaScript very much because according to them JavaScript is shit. I also agree that Linux is secure, but not that must how they are telling you. Today I want to bust some myths. My English is not good because English is not my native language. The first thing I want to talk about is JavaScript. These Linux YouTubers say they hate JavaScript because it's making the web bloat, so he starts promoting Gopher protocol. So I think he is only telling us the one side of the story. He is only telling us how bad is JavaScript and totally ignoring the fact that how useful is JavaScript in certain situation, like adding a chat widget or adding beautiful animations in your website, or you can make a 3D website using Three.js very easily. Even Patreon and Discord is heavily relying on JavaScript. I checked their tech stack online, I found that Discord is using Electron, Elixir, etc. and Patreon using React and Node, etc. If you want to create a dynamic website with backend API. Without JavaScript, you can't make API calls and you can't integrate any external services. What he is telling us is not practical. If you're creating a blog and not updating it for months and you don't even have any traffic on your website, then maybe you can use hardcore HTML. But if you're trying to create a professional website fast, then you will need JavaScript and frameworks like React.js, Vue.js, etc. And according to him, Emacs is the best text editor. Dude, try VS Code. VS Code can do anything you want. You even can find a dating partner in VS Code. VS Code will make your life a lot easier, it even can replace your many IDE. So let's talk about security. Now he created a video comparing Deepin OS and Windows. And he is telling us that Deepin OS is good for privacy and security, even though Deepin OS is made by Chinese companies and they have been accused of sending unencrypted user data from their app store to CNZZ servers. CNZZ is a famous internet statistics analysis service. Basically it's a Google Analytics alternative, according to their official statement. I really don't suggest anyone to use a Chinese OS on your main machine. Wuhan Deepin Technology, who created Deepin OS, also has connections to Huawei. Huawei's products are banned in many countries including the USA because they care too much about their users' data. And one thing is that if you're stupid it does not matter what OS you use, you will be get hacked if you do not use your common sense. Linux also gets hacked every day, but because of the very little market share. The media don't cover it that much. If you follow Mental Outlaw, he also makes few videos about Linux vulnerability. On average 30,000 new websites are hacked every day. And there is a very high chance that most of them are running on Linux. You see sometimes many hacking groups publish a huge list of websites they hack, so how do they get access to that many websites? If you're using shared hosting and there are 40 or 50 websites are hosted on the same server, they use privilege escalation attacks to get root access and get access to all websites in the same server. There are many Linux local exploit like a dirty cow and CVE 2021-3156 heap-based buffer overflow in sudo, or you can find many more exploits in exploitdb. If you're downloading random script from GitHub and running them as root or even with restricted privileges, you're more likely going to get hacked because there is no window defender to stop you from executing a fucking malware. Mirai botnet attack is one of the world's biggest botnet attacks that target Linux. The security researchers also found malware in Arch user repository. So the conclusion is no operating system is secure. If you are stupid then you will get hacked no matter what. And open source is like a double-edged sword. Open source also helps hackers to find vulnerabilities in software, and most of the developers start open source projects as a side project, so most of the time these projects are buggy, and your bad documentation and support, and I am doing the same, and don't subscribe to my channel, I don't like to get notifications.